Good afternoon, everyone. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. We are 100 Years Enterprise, and we shooting season 3 of The Consequences of the Street Life. My name is Fahim.
I'm Dante.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Patrick number 2.
My name is Ma'at.
And again, welcome Ma'at, welcome Patrick to 100 Years Enterprise, to our podcast.
Thank you, sir.
And, brief introduction, my brother. We go way back.
Yes, we go
Way back behind the wall, and we met under some unforeseen, unfortunate circumstances.
Yes, sir.
As kids.
As kids.
Right? Behind that wall. And, you have a very unique story. Well, people really, need to understand. And because we look at these day and times, especially understanding the consequences of the street life, is that how can one come from up under your situation, right? But we're going to go into that in a minute.
Most definitely.
In a minute.
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say it's an honor and a pleasure to have both of you guys here, young lady and the brother Patrick. We go way back.
Yes, sir.
Solano State Prison.
When you had the perm.
When I had the perm back in the day. Yes, sir.
Just be facetious. I love you.
Had that perm.
Definitely. We honored to have you.
Yes, sir.
Both of you guys
sir,
here.
most definitely.
And hopefully, we can touch on the consequence of the street life, because everybody was affected by the street life. Even this young lady, even though she might have went right, it might wasn't raised like that, but I'm quite sure she was affected. But it probably in a positive way. So hopefully we can shed light on that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this dude in front of us, man.
He's back again.
I just want to let the viewers know, man, we go way back, man. This is a beautiful thing. It wouldn't even be strange to see you on this show, man, but it's glad to have you on here, man.
It took a long time.
It's about consequences of street life.
Yes.
We're going to go deeply into who you about, what you about, what you represent. You brought a young lady on here. We want to know about her brand, which is the brand. We're going to get into that, discuss her life, about consequences of street life, what made her go right instead of left. Like we did. Just to say, man, let's get started with it, man. Fahim, take over, man.
South Central LA.
War zone.
South Central LA. East Coast Crip.
War zone.
Was it 7'6"?
No, 6'9".
6'9" East Coast. 6'9" East Coast.
That used to be my brand.
Just be your brand, right?
That's the brand. It's on my body.
Yeah. One day you had to, you left off the porch. Was it broad daylight? Was it a high-speed chase?
Yes.
How close to high-speed chase? You had to get off on the police, huh?
I had to get off on the police. The consequences of the street life.
Consequences of the street life.
And you know what? It's ironic that we are speaking of that, because Thursday, I got a call from my lawyer.
Right.
If I cry, I don't trip. I love crying.
Let it out.
You know that.
I'm going to cry with
we
you.
done cried together.
You done cried? Yes, many a time.
I got a call from my attorney. The attorney that represented me in the appellate case on my case. I have no faith in the law. I have no faith in the judicial system. I really don't. Just from the history that I've been through. The consequences of the street life.
Yes.
I got a call from my attorney. He said, Mr. Carr, I got great news. I said, what's up? He said, they vacated your life sentence. The United States Supreme Court just vacated your life sentence.
That's what's up.
So as we speak, but I had to do 30 years in prison, and which was a blessing for me. That was the consequence of the street life.
Yes.
I had to go to prison to meet good people. I had to go to prison to change my life. I had to go to prison to understand who I was.
Yes.
And what I need to do in life and how I need to do it. And so that's why I'm not bitter today.
Absolutely.
The consequences of the street life, I'm not bitter today.
That bitterness will eat you up.
That bitterness would kill you. It killed me in prison. You saw that bitterness in prison when I was chasing that man with the knife, and you had to chase me across the yard.
I had to chase you across the yard and get the knife out your hand.
You got to get the knife out.
But that's what we do as brothers. We got to save each other life.
You got to save each other.
No, that's what we do.
Yes, sir. Yes,
absolutely.
Sir. Yes, sir. So go ahead.
Let me ask you this,
yes,
right?
Sir.
So would you get him 30 years up?
When you say give those 30 years up?
I mean, because you said, it took you 30 years to really get to know who you was, right? So my question to you, if you wouldn't have went to prison, right, you think you would have been able to figure out who you are, who you is today?
No, if I didn't go to prison, I think I would be dead.
Okay.
By the way, my street name was Pat Loke.
Pat Loke.
Loke.
Pat Loke. You know how to do
See,
the
Loke.
grip, the grip.
I was crazy. I was crazy. Insane.
Yeah,
You feel me?
yeah,
I was insane. I was insane with it. I try to outdo. I got the type of personality like he always reined me back in. If you notice, since we've been in the room, he reined me back in about 4 times. I go. I got that go mentality. So,
But keep it.
For sure. But now I go in the positive sense.
Most definitely.
I know how to go now. And that's the consequences of what the street life did that put me in prison and had me today interacting with young people on another level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me ask you something about consequential street life, and then we gonna drift right over there to Maud. We got to get her in here.
Oh yeah.
But my question to you is, right, the neighborhood you come from, right? Because we all have similarities from the neighborhood when we talk about consequences of street life, right? What was it that steered you away from your home and led you to the street? Because we want the viewers to understand why you did a thing, right? So we can get some answers, some preventive measures. Why you did a thing? What caused you as a young man, right? To whatever you did to become Pat Loke?
Pat Loke.
Okay, Patrick is crazy?
Yeah, Patrick is
okay,
crazy.
we're going to go there.
He crazy.
Okay, so what was it? What triggered you to say, okay, I got to do this here?
The lack thereof. And when I say the lack of thereof is that I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
And if you know what Kingston, Jamaica is about in the 70s, 80s, by the way, I'm 55 years old. I will be 56 in April.
Alhamdulillah.
You know what I mean?
Gray hair on your face.
You know, it's coming though. Yeah, it's coming. So growing up in Kingston, Jamaica, it was a rogue environment. It's an environment where it's all about the money. It's all about the Yankee dollars. It's all about what you could have because the community is so poor. Yeah. But yet still we are rich in spirit, but we are so poor. So coming up out of a poor neighborhood, everybody fight for the little bit of food that you have. So after I came to America in the early 80s, the United States, I land on South Central LA.
How old was you?
I was 15.
Okay.
I was 15 at the time when I landed in South Central LA. And when I came to LA, the street in LA was paradise. These guys didn't know what they have.
Yes.
See, they don't know what they have. I was like, I wish you could, in Jamaica, you got a bowl of cereal gonna feed two. You got, in America, people throw that away.
Yes.
So this was to me the land of milk and honey. And being that I got that greed mentality, the fast come up mentality, it was easy for me to step into the street life in my neighborhood.
Yes.
Because the people in my neighborhood remind me of the people that I left in Jamaica. It was kicking the same negativity.
Okay.
It was about gang. In Jamaica, you got gang, but unfortunately, I wasn't with the gang then. So now I'm here now in America, I became a part of that. I was embraced. And the gang became that family that I believe that it's not in a positive way, but it became a family to help me get what I want.
Yes.
When you said the gang became a family, was it in the sense of what you thought you didn't have or wasn't receiving inside the home?
Absolutely. I was just going to touch upon that. It's absolutely that what I thought I had in the home, but my home was loose. My home was loose. My mother was always living in New York City. I lived with my older brother in LA, South Central. I had no guidance. I could do what I want to do. I go to school when I want to go to school. I do I'm off the hook.
Yeah.
I had no supervision. There was no parental supervision. And to me, that was a blessing.
Yes.
A young man with no parental supervision. I'm living with my older brother, who is just 3 years older than me. And he's in the drug game. So there you go. Have it right there. So I just take to my community where I am. Right there in South Central LA. Right there on the same block that I moved from Jamaica to, that's the block I start kicking. That's the block I start repping, 69th Street. And they embrace me. Yeah. And I love that. I love that. I love the way they embrace me. You know what I mean? It's a shine that every young man look for.
So let me ask you this, Brother Patrick, number two.
Number two?
Number two, most definitely number two. So what can you say, right, to the world? Because we want everybody to see this podcast.
Yes.
You know, to the young men as well as the young women, right? To enlighten them on the consequences of the street life, meaning that picking up that gun, selling dope, or abusing a female, or even abusing another individual. What can you say to them where they can say, you know what, I don't want to go to prison? Because a lot of times, you know, we do things and we don't think about the consequences, because I know I didn't. No, we don't think about the pain that I might cause you or cause her because of my actions. So what can you say, you know, to the world, you know, something positive to say, hey, if you go down this road, this is what you're going to be faced with. You're going to be faced with sleeping with another man in prison.
True that. And it's a very good question, because at the end of the day, where am I at today in my life? Yes. I'm a 55-year-old African-Jamaican male who was raised in the system of CDC, who was blessed to learn to understand myself and what crime could do to an individual, what drugs could do to the community, because I've seen it and I've done it. So I would say to the young people today is to really gravitate towards the person that's looking in the books, square.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes,
look
sir.
at the square cat that's on the block. Don't look at the drug dealer on the block. Don't look at the gang member on the block. Even though they got that money, it gonna happen to them. What gonna happen to them? That's what happened to me. Yes. So what I'm saying is to look at the square. Look at that guy, man. Look at that guy that get up and go to school. Get that education.
Yes.
Right? Education is the key.
Yes, sir.
Education give you understanding. Education even open your eyes to the future.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So that's what I would say to the young people. And not just say it. I'm in the process now where I'm training young people how to do it.
Yes, sir.
Walking with them.
Yes, most definitely.
Walking with them. Nobody walk with me.
Yes.
So I'm going to take you there. I'm going to take you to school. I'm going to take you to the Job Corps. I'm going to make sure you get that hammer in your hand. I'm going to make sure you get that computer in your business. If you ain't got no money, I'm coming up out of my pocket.
Yes,
I'm going to make sure you get that money to put towards your brand. You know what I mean? Make sure you have it.
Right. Yes, sir.
Because I know what it do.
Most definitely.
You feel me? I know the stress, but at the same time, I want you to be serious about your future.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
With that being said, right?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, true. Most definitely. I love that question too. Let's pivot a little bit.
Pivot.
Right? Because you got a young lady here named Maya, right?
Yes.
I want to make sure I say your name right.
Beautiful
I hate saying
name.
someone's name wrong.
Yes.
Tell us about you, because now we got to talk about, you know, things in your life, right, and what you're doing, right? That surrounds consequences of street life. Let's get some positivity here.
Unfortunately, I grew up with a father who was very on me, so I didn't have to go outside myself to figure out that I didn't need to do certain things to learn that they weren't for me. So I just want to say I'm very grateful for him.
That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Let me ask you one question. What is one thing that your father told you, but you just hold on to? You say, I remember my father told me this here. It's one thing what you hold on to.
You don't need to go outside yourself. Like, why are you trying to be the next person so bad?
Be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself. I want to say that's what really stuck with me. And this coffee got my voice shaking right now.
Okay.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Because I want to say, like, I have issues with finding out who I'm trying to be. I'm looking at the next person. I'm looking on social media. What I got to compare myself for? Like, it's an identity crisis.
Did you realize that social media is a lie?
Yes.
A big lie, huh?
Yeah, and I want to say, when I was in high school, my dad was very on me with, you don't need to be on social media. I didn't really have a phone till after high school, because it has that much of an impact on you. Like, you trying to be the next thing. You trying to be like everybody else, when you really just kind of got to stay on your own path.
I just want to give respect to your daddy for that.
Yeah, like
Man, that's
Exactly.
great. He held your phone till after high school.
That's good.
Man, kids
Hold
will
their
go
foot to the
crazy.
fire.
You take their phone from them.
yeah,
That's
like,
all they do when we go through Greenwood. They own
That's
their
it.
phone.
And I used to be so mad. But I'm very grateful now. Like, cause I can tell the BS and from what's real and what's not. Like,
Most definitely. Well, let me ask you this, young lady. I don't want to say your name because I might get it wrong, but I'm just gonna call you young lady. Do you love yourself?
I'm learning how to now.
Okay.
I didn't really before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the most important thing is to love ourselves, right? And not commend your pops too, for the way that he disciplines you.
Yeah.
Which is in a good way, right? And I think if a lot of men took that role with their kids, I think kids' life would be a little bit better. But we failed as parents,
Yes.
So I commend your pops for being on you. And like I said, love who you are because you're beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. What you like to do, do it. Don't let nobody tell you can't do it. Rep your brand. What is the brand?
The brand?
Rep
Yeah,
that.
30 the brand.
30
Tell
the
us
brand.
about that.
So 30 the brand
Let's
is
see it too. You got to see that. What's that about?
yeah, I got
Okay.
this and I got some on the back, but it's basically an expression on how to just keep yourself moving during the challenges that life throws at you. I face challenges every day. For me, I just put my dog down the other day. Yeah, like you just gotta keep that shit moving. Excuse my language. It's hard.
Yes, sir.
It's hard. Like everybody going through it.
Yes.
Everybody going through it, and then you expecting somebody else to see you, but how you expect somebody else to see you? They going through their shit. Like
Yes.
it's hard out here.
Yeah. So when you're going through a thing, how do you take your time out? Meaning that how you just sit back and say, I'm dealing with something. I gotta decompress. I gotta do some self-evaluations, some reflection on my life.
I do a lot of writing.
Okay.
Yeah, whether I stop like rapping in a way, but I do a lot of like journaling. Yeah, reflecting on how I feel, what it means.
Yes.
Seeing things from different perspective as well. Like you gotta be accountable for how you make other people feel, and then how everything play a part into the situation, not being one-sided. So yeah,
Have an open mind.
for sure.
Good. I got one question. Shout out to Rudy.
I was just
Yes,
going to
sir.
do that.
Yes,
I was
sir.
just going to
Shout out to Rudy.
Shout out to Rudy.
Rudy.
United Players.
Yeah, United Players. Rudy
San
been contacting me
Francisco.
every day.
Yes.
And you hit the pavement walking.
Yes.
You say taking these kids, to libraries, to workforces, and all that.
Workforces.
So, how you get involved with United Players, and tell us what United Players is about.
Okay, good question. My job, I'm the program manager for the Success Center. It's the same place where my heart work. Rudy, I met Rudy coming into prison when he was coming into prison, doing what you guys do right now, doing what we do. He came into prison, and he came into Solano, level 2.
Yeah.
You already left.
Okay.
You already left. You were still on the level 3. You already left. So he came in, and he was escorted off the yard. That got my attention. Like I said, I gravitate towards positivity.
Yes,
now.
sir.
So at that time, I was going through my changes, but they escorted him off the yard because so much young people gravitate
Got it.
towards
Okay.
him.
Right.
But I was fortunate enough to get his card. So the day I got released was the day I reached out to him and tell him, hey man, I'm in San Francisco. I need to be practicing my giving back to my community because I took a lot from my community.
Yes.
I put a lot of landmine. Matter of fact, I put a lot of landmine in my community where, back in the war days, I had a soldier plant the landmine. I did that with the drugs, the violence, the gang. I put a lot of people on in the hood. You know what I mean? That's part of the landmine. I did that. I sell a lot of dope. So I need to give back to my community, right? And that's exactly what he do. He is involved with the young people at a very young age. The age where they are very impressionable. The age where you need to get to them before the street get to them. right? He start with the 13-year-old, the 12-year-old, the elementary school. So I piggyback on that to go to the elementary school, the high school, the college campus, and talk to the young people about what this street life does, this criminality, this crime life, what it does, this gang activity, and not just how to recognize it. A lot of young people don't recognize it, so they fall victim to the system of the street life. It got a system. So that's my job. My job is to enlighten them. What they might call that. Snitch on them? No. That's my job. Yeah. What's finna go down? Yeah. So I go up with Rudy into the elementary and we speak. He got an after school program. Okay. After school program is huge because the young people in this country after school don't have nothing to do but social media. Social media. Social media. All day long. So that's where we coming at in the south of Moss, which is AKA the south of Mission. It's a community in San Francisco. So that's what we do, the after-school program. We try to bring this kid into the center. We got 2 facilities. He got 2 facilities. The people got 2 facilities. Okay. Because Rudy got the tendency try not to own nothing. Right. He give it to the people. Yes. You know what I mean? You make a mistake, he's like, hey, man, that's not my stuff. That's for the people, the young people. Bring them to the center. Matter of fact, Pat, that's your center. That's your building. That's right. You feel me? The other day, we was in front of the classroom. He introduced me. He said, this is Pat building. And I'm like, come on, this is not my building. But he's like, it's your building. You're doing the work. You're doing the work. There you go. Thank you. Right. He said,
the work is being occupied by you.
The work is being occupied by me. So this is your building, and we just bought a new building right next door. So now we got 2 buildings to where we can facilitate some latitude for the young people. Absolutely. So they don't go straight. So that's what it's about.
Doing some good work.
I just want to say something. You had a question?
This is y'all doing some good work.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I just want to say one more thing to you, too, personally.
Yes,
sir. I'm very proud of you, right? I seen your change, right? And I'm going to tell you when I seen it. When I came back and I was going, they had me going from Solano to Tracy, but they dropped me in Solano. And I seen you for that one day. I got locked up. I think I was on there.
That same day. About 30 minutes later after I get to hug you.
But he ran and seen me, man, and we hugged each other. And I see what all these classes you was doing.
Yes.
And the way you talk, the way you walk, and how you carried yourself was just different.
I had my bag in my hand. Right.
I was changed too.
Yes.
But I haven't reached that point to where they allowed me to operate that. I still had to go through the process of who I used to be. Right.
For sure.
And so I seen that, man. Like I said, man, you said I got a date. I'm going home.
Yeah.
You had I think you was waiting like 30 days.
I was waiting. I was 30 days.
He said, I got my date. I was so happy for you, man. Yeah. I was like, cool, man.
Yeah, we had a lot of trauma, man. Yeah. There was a lot of trauma behind that wall. There was a lot of trauma in this street. There's a lot of trauma in this street. A trauma where young people trying to avoid it. You know what I mean? My aunt just speak on it. Right. That's why she went left. She went the right way. We might call it left. Yeah. But she went left, you feel me? Because she seen the trauma outside her door. You know what I mean? When you hear them sirens.
So it's fair to say that the consequence of the street life, she seen that, but instead of going left, you went right, the right way. I commend you on that. And so, like you said, it has 2 components to it.
It got 2 components.
It most definitely. And I want to just say this too, Brother Patrick. Yes, number 2 is that I commend you for the work that you're doing out here, as well as with the Brother Rudy and your organization, right? But especially you, because all 3 of us, we witnessed you in Solano, where you was up here.
For sure.
So for you to do the time and to find out who you are, that's a blessing. So I want to commend you on that, man, and continue to strive. And hopefully that these youngsters see this podcast, right? Because that's our purpose, for them to see this podcast, right? So they won't have to go through what we went through. Because in prison, we went through some stuff mentally and emotionally and physically. And so we saying that you don't have to go through that to get it right. You can get it right out here.
Right now.
And we here for you.
And I just want to say one thing, before we wrapped it up or step off, if I'm jumping, it's the process of colonization, I believe. The process of colonization is to take your name, take your religion, and take your identity. So what I give you is violence. I let violence become the norm. I let you solve all your problem with violence. You know what I mean? But it's our job to teach them how to communicate, man.
Absolutely.
I just want to
Yes,
You know,
Yes, sir. Thank
with that, I want
Yes, sir.
to, because Patrick just, well, Hamza, he said, he said something, he triggered a thought
Yeah.
about you being released. I had just went to the parole board and got denied.
Yes.
Remember I called you collect?
Yes, you called me.
And we were
correct.
talking.
Yes.
And I said, man, they want me to take NA. They want me to learn everything.
Yes.
And you told me, you said, write everything down, write
Right.
all your steps down.
Write all your steps down.
Remember back and forth. And
Overwhelm them.
Remember? And then you said, articulate every step.
Every step.
And the one that most fits you.
The one that fits you. That's what I did.
I hit him with step 4.
You still on step 4.
You know what I mean?
Taking moral
Moral
inventory.
inventory, right.
of yourself
Constantly,
every
right.
day.
And then
Yeah.
I was mad at you in a
Why?
good way.
Why?
Because you didn't tell me that you was on the segment, what was that, 60 Minutes?
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
with the Oprah thing.
Winfrey, with Oprah
yeah,
Winfrey.
this guy was on Oprah. Yeah.
When was
So,
this?
like,
It's like 2000, so I got
It was.
it was like 2016, 15,
It was the
something like
same
that.
week before I seen you.
Man was on the
Oprah
segment,
came to
okay.
Solano.
What?
Big O, that's as we called her, came to Solano.
Yeah.
So they needed somebody to represent the change.
Yeah.
The change. And so
They selected you.
the slicker like the water.
All the
big.
board,
That's
everything,
big.
so in the classroom, L-top, I think, with an L-top program.
We was in the gym.
Okay.
We was in the gym. She also went down to the L-top, but they wanted to really touch our man up. We
Yeah.
created this program with a brother named Raheem. Pretty much you all know Raheem
Abdurrahim, yes.
from Oakland.
Yes.
Me and brother Raheem created this program named Man Up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So she wanted to hear about Man Up.
Mm-hmm.
And Man Up is an acronym though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The M stand for making rational decision. The A stand for acting with precision.
Mm-hmm.
And the N is never give up your position after you understand those 3.
Yeah.
The U is to uplift yourself, your family, and your community. And the P, after you learn all of that, because it's a workbook. We also created this workbook with it. So after you do all of that, the P, positive living. So that was she wanted a bar of that. So I had to get on the board and break down what Man Up does to the brain.
Yes.
Because the brain of young people, like I was telling the young people in the juvenile hall, your brain is not developed till after 25, 24.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
everything you learn
Yes,
is
sir.
creating a pathway.
Yep.
It's creating a river
Yeah.
in your brain. So our job is to get in that river
Oh, yeah.
with that positivity. And as Muslims, some of us, I'm a Muslim, of course.
Yeah.
And you guys are Muslim.
definitely.
As a Muslim, we believe that water is knowledge. You feel me? Water flow like
Yes,
knowledge.
yes.
Ramadan right around the corner.
And Ramadan is right around the
Right around
corner.
the corner.
So it's some things I have to clean up with myself.
Absolutely.
And because that's what Ramadan is to us as a Muslim. You know what I mean? I heard you give some beautiful khutbah in prison. I ain't forgot it. You feel me? I ain't forgot nothing. I got all my lesson.
Yeah.
I got it.
And I want to say this here before we wrap up. You know, thank you
Thank you
Yes.
for having me.
Yes.
and
Yes.
sharing the brand,
The brand.
but also for your recovery.
Thank you.
Yes.
For your recovery,
Thank you. Recovery is important.
because you
Yes,
went through a
sir.
change
Yes,
3 months ago, almost a year ago.
Yes, sir.
You know, we had to step to the hospital and see you.
Yes, sir. I got the
No.
pictures. I was just looking at the
so
pictures.
alhamdulillah.
Yes.
You know, and but also, you know, with this segment, you know, we can't control life. We can't control life or death. Only Allah. You know, and
Just wanna I wanna dedicate this podcast to my nephew Tristan Muhammad. He just passed away yesterday morning in a car crash. And I just wanna dedicate this podcast. You know, he's truly gonna be missed, and I just wanna truly say to the world, we can't take life for granted. You know, because we don't know when we gonna go. We don't know when God gonna call us. You know, so remember that. You know, let's love on each other and respect each other. Let's grow together and come together, you know, as one. Because like I say, life, it can be taken just like that
we don't know.
in that moment.
Yes, sir.
Once you get a phone call, that text, how you doing, our apology, whatever it may be.
And again, man, you know, shout out, you know what I mean, to Rudy. Shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to United Players. Shout out to the brand. And my condolences and respect for your nephew, man.
Thank you.
And like I said, we got to continue to stay prayed up, continue to do the work,
Yes, sir.
continue to provide the service, right? And that's to be violence disruptors and to help steer you from making early death decisions, as well as help those who's coming out behind us,
Yes, sir.
help them acclimate to society in a positive manner.
Yes.
Yes, sir. You know,
So
we
what-
are 100 Years Enterprise.
So what can we be found at?
Oh, man. Woo! First of all, on Instagram, 100 Years DOP.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
already on
You
it.
on there?
Yeah.
On the YouTube, 100 Years Enterprise.
I'm already on
Hit
it.
the hashtag 1HYE. We still haven't had our Facebook page created, but
We're
our
taking this so
website
long.
is 100years.biz. Yes, we're taking it so long, but it's coming along.
Okay.
It's coming along.
We
And
need that.
hey,
Subscribe.
like,
Also, we got hoodies and hats. Man, get your hoodie and hat, man. 100 years in a 1HYE, get your hoodie and hats. It's all relative. It's all unique. Man, mess with us, man. And again, thank y'all for coming.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, yes.
And the
Thank you.
brand gonna be hitting the street. Look out for it.
United Players.
United
Hit
Players.
that like,
Players out
subscribe,
there.
and share button.
Yes, for
And
sure.
again, shout out to the family, Trish and the
Yes,
family.
sir.
Y'all.
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
Peace
My
and love.
condolence. Peace and
And
love.
shout out to Ream Media for having us behind the camera, behind the production. Dave and Christina.
Yes.
We ride.
Peace out. 100
out.
Years Enterprise.